Hello everyone, my name is Brandy. I'm one of the owners of Glitter Zoo. What I'm going to show you here is a leopard glow-in-the-dark peekaboo cup I make that a lot of people seem to really like. And all the supplies I'm going to use in this video can be found on our website, glitterzoo.com. I always see questions on how to get your whole cup to glow or how to avoid streaks, so I'm going to show you my process. And here's the first one I did. I used white to aqua glow powder with a glitter named L'Amazing over a black base, and I brushed chameleon mica powder on top. And this is the latest one I did. I used pink glow powder and a glitter named Flockstar, and I blushed another color of chameleon mica powder on top. So let's get started. Mix your epoxy and then add the glow powder. Here's the pink glow powder I use from Glitter Zoo. I don't have a specific ratio or amount of glow powder I use. You can always test it under a UV light beforehand to check it. I add a little bit, mix, and then a little more. You want to make sure to mix the powder in good with your epoxy so you don't get any little balls or clumps of powder. And when you're done mixing it well, you can apply it to your entire cup. I like to let it spin for a minute just to get the epoxy to even and smooth out before I apply my glitter. For the glitter, I used a mix of one of our glitters named Hush Puppy and the pink glow powder again. I don't have a specific ratio, I just mix until I like the glow. You want to make sure you mix and shake the two together really good before you glitter. You can use really any iridescent or opal glitter with glow powder. You want to make sure your cup is glittered really good. Epoxy tends to soak up glitter a bit, so go over it a few times. In the beginning, if you could see, you don't want those wet looking spots. I always say you want your glitter sitting on top of your epoxy and not swimming in it, so I tend to glitter it a lot. I couldn't get it too dark at the time, but here's a little sneak peek of the glow after the first coat of glitter. Now that the cup is glittered and sealed, you want to repeat the same process for your next coat of glitter. You don't have to do 2 coats of glitter. I do for it to really glow, but check it under the UV light and see how you like it before you do the second coat. And here's what it looks like when it's done. The cup is sealed and it's ready for its first layer of epoxy. My general rule of thumb is 2 coats of epoxy before sanding. And here's the cup after 2 coats of epoxy. Now for peekaboos, you want to make sure that you sand really good because you're going to see any little imperfection or bump once you spray paint. I cut the vinyl with my Cricut, and I usually make the image larger than the cup itself, and then I use the extra spots for the bottom or any other spaces I want to fill in. I think I made this one 11 by 11 for a 30-ounce straight tumbler. Now weed the vinyl, and I usually use temporary vinyl for all my peekaboos so it's easier to get off the cup. And as you can see, when I weed larger pieces like this, I cut off the excess vinyl as I go so it doesn't get stuck to any of the other parts. I use contact paper for my transfer tape. I find that other transfer tapes can be too sticky at times. So you want to lay the transfer tape on flat and then peel the back. After it's on the transfer tape, I like to put it on parchment paper, which is a super helpful little hack. And now you want to pick where you want to start and wrap your cup slowly by starting to pull back the parchment paper and smoothing over the vinyl as you go. Where the 2 ends meet, you want to be careful not to overlap any spots. So press down what you can without overlapping, and then you can always add any missing spots to that area. And then after you do that, it's all done and ready to be spray painted. I use this plum color spray paint. I usually use black or a light color base, but I tried a little bit something different with this cup. You want to do even light coats of spray paint and let it dry in between the coats so you don't have any drips. Take your time with spray painting, just don't rush the process. Now that the cup is fully spray painted and dried, we can work on brushing the chameleon mica powder on top. For this I use the tack it method, so half tack it and half water. mix, and it does have a liquidy-like consistency after. Brush it on your entire tumbler and make sure that you do a light, even coat. Finish covering the entire cup and let it dry for at least about 20 minutes. The cup should be super tacky now, and here's Glitter Zoo's Chameleon Mica Powder I use. You just start by brushing it on and put a good amount on. It may look a little bit white, but keep brushing it up and down and in circular motions until you cover the whole tumbler. When it's covered, you can work on removing the vinyl pieces. I use this Fisker knife, which I find really helpful, but just be careful to avoid any scratches when you're taking off the pieces. When it's done, I like to seal it before my next coat of epoxy because the epoxy repels in some areas with the tackant method sometimes. I use CC DIY Quick Coat, but you can also use any spray sealer too. Now it's spinning with its first coat of epoxy over everything. I usually like to do 2 coats. And here it is when it's finally all done. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search Glitter Zoo. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, glitterzoo.com, to shop for the products shown here.